You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Pet Life Radio. This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to the Whisker Report. We're a new podcast dedicated to helping anyone in the pet industry, whether you're in animal welfare or a for-profit pet company, get some PR and buzz for your organization. Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Tan, one of the hosts of the show, along with my co-host, Alexandre Ricard, a cat rescuer and public relations professional who hails from France but now lives in the lovely city of Vancouver. Bonjour, Alex.
Bonjour tout le monde. How are you, Mary?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Trying to get some summer in Vancouver where it's like so cold and rainy even in June.
Oh, no.
I had high hopes, but the summer is not here yet. Hopefully it'll come soon. And we're also here with our amazing producer, Mark Winter of Pet Life Radio, who gets us to you each and every week. Yeah, who's calling from the sunshine.
It is sunny today. Are you looking out the window? Sunny, but hot, very hot.
It's never not sunny.
No, but it's hot.
It's Florida.
It's hot. Like, it's almost July in Florida. It's like 90 plus degrees.
Oh my goodness. Is it very humid too?
Yeah, now it is. It's rainy season. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, me, it's humid too, but no sunshine.
Well, we are so honored to be part of the Pet Life Radio network. You can do PR for yourself. And Alex, Mark, and I are going to help you and give you tips each and every week with the help of a wonderful guest.
Yeah, today we're so lucky to have Jamie Kane, who is the founder and owner of Be Spotted, a pet-focused marketing firm that focuses on everything from making awesome Instagram reels to helping pet owners get a passive income that really sells. She has expertise in getting pet owners to that next level. Jamie, I know that's just a little bit of what you do. So welcome to the show and thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to connect with you and your community and help all of the pet business owners out there take it to the next level.
Yay! So first question, how did you get involved in the pet industry?
I think like all of us, we're all obsessed with our pets. Like I am a psycho dog mom. I like to call her a muttsicle. Her name's Lucy. But I had dogs growing up as well. My first pet business was so cliche to say, but like during COVID. So I'm based in New York City and it was called Dog Spotted. And basically, you could see the trend spotted. And it was to help connect small businesses, think vets, trainers, etc., to pet parents. And my first population I started with were vets. And as we all know, during COVID, everyone and their mother got a dog. And my business was to help vets get more business. So when I said, hey, your website looks like, I didn't say these exact words, but your website looks predated to MySpace. I'm sure you don't want to revamp all of that. Let me help you get more customers. And they're like, we are swamped. Do you know any vets? And I was like, no. So through that learning experience, which tip number one I'll give on this call, do market research. I am now a psycho about market research. Like people, I think when they start a business, they just assume because they have dealt with this problem or they think it's a problem, that means it is a problem or enough of a problem. And I learned through that experience, the vets, especially peak COVID when everyone was getting pets, their biggest problem wasn't more clientele, but was staffing. But obviously as an outsider, I would have never known that. So I iterated Dog Spotted, but through that experience, other people like trainers, walkers, groomers, pet products, because I grew my Instagram quite quickly and it had really good engagement and things like that. So other pet businesses were like, can you help me with my social media. And at first I was like so busy pulling teeth from the vets. And my husband was like, these people are banging on your proverbial door for help. And so that's when Be Spotted was born, to teach pet businesses, because I'm sure those listening can understand or probably have looked into hiring or outsourcing, and it can get very expensive. It's every month. And most people that manage social media pages are not pet specific, and it's a totally different audience and nuance. So, and no one's going to care more about your business than yourself. And so my whole strategy is teaching pet businesses the skill set so they can do it quickly and efficiently, so they don't have to spend thousands every month, not waste hours on creating content, and get business organically without ad spend. So that's kind of the little story of how it all got started.
I do always recommend to pet owners, like especially small pet businesses or even like, small organization, to do their own social media. I think it's so important to do it yourself, because especially in the AI world today, where it's so easy to create a post, like, and yeah, you can create 10 posts in 2 minutes, but none of them would be genuine. So I think one thing is to really put the time to just be very truthful and just tell your own story.
I 100% agree. The biggest differentiator is you, right? And especially if you're a solopreneur, which a lot of pet businesses are, again, you're the trusted authority. And especially if you're a dog trainer or someone going into their home, the last thing you want to do is hide your face and be mysterious, because you're going into this person's personal space. Like, that's a risk on the pet parent to invite the stranger into your home. So the more that they can get to know you, this is the service side, obviously. The more they can get to know you and trust you, the more likely they're going to pick you over your competitor, even if there's a price differential. And then when it comes to pet products, I think a lot of the biggest complaint I hear is, I'm so sick of posting like pictures of the bandana or the pet food. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sure my audience is sick of it. And I guess tip number 2, hopefully I can remember and track all the numbers of tips, but would be, don't just post about your product, post about the person that would buy your product. Like, what are their interests? So for example, if let's say there was this, I'm such a nerd, I love Shark Tank. There was this one product that was like a protein bar. Like, you know how people on hikes, they have like their little snack bars for people. And then this company made one specifically for dogs, so it's easy to travel with when you're going on hikes or camping or whatever. And so if I was creating the social media, for example, that company, instead of just posting dogs on hikes, I would do content like dog-friendly hikes in upstate New York or Boston or Vancouver, or here are some hiking do's and don'ts. And someone that's probably hiking, obviously making a generalization, like probably likes granola and kale and healthy snacks because they're outdoorsy, and like thinking of them as a whole person versus just that single thing about the dog. And unfortunately for all of us here, the dogs don't have the credit cards the humans do. So you have to cater to them and their needs and problems and what resonates with them.
We all know that feeling. You finally manage to get away on vacation and the worrying starts. Will that bogus "Beware of Dogs" sign keep your home safe? What about that fake camera you set up? And will someone finally find your old hide and key rock? That's where ADT comes in. All that stuff, it's safe-ish. It seems fine when you don't really think about it, but you know it truly doesn't work. Instead, ADT provides security solutions that keep you actually safe, giving you real peace of mind. Because vacation is supposed to be, relaxing. Don't settle for safe-ish. Visit ADT.com today to learn more.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
So I have a question. You had also brought up market research. So tell us, how can somebody do that without hiring anyone?
Oh yeah, definitely don't hire someone. Consulting firms, my husband's a consultant. He'll be like, stop taking my job. They charge an arm and a leg. So these big companies spend, it's crazy, like 6 figures on like a month. What I always say, if you're just starting out, like let's say you don't have an Instagram presence, and this is going to sound so ill because Facebook is ill, but Facebook groups are actually still really great and active, which is so random, but it is. So I always say post in those groups, be cognizant of the admin, be cognizant that you're not stepping on anyone's toes, and always be giving something in return. But say, hey, let's pretend it was for my business, right? Like, hey, my name's Jamie. I'm looking to talk to other pet businesses that are struggling with marketing. I'd love to talk for an hour to hear where you're struggling. And in exchange, I'll give you an hour of a free consult, right? It should be equal. Like your time is not more valuable than theirs and vice versa. So asking for their time. And then for my own clients, I give them the plug and play templates for Facebook groups as well as the questions they should ask so they don't have to think about it. But obviously you could use ChatGPT now because I made this pre-ChatGPT. But yeah, it's a numbers game. I always say try and get at least 10. And then the trick is, right, seeing the patterns. What are the problems that they keep talking about and regurgitating that in their words in your content. The biggest mistake, and I'm sure you guys will agree, pet businesses have their own vernacular and jargon. Like I hear trainers saying, fear free. And
What does that mean?
Right. What does that mean? Which just means, they work really well with anxious pets. That's it. So just translating that, the rule of thumb is if a 10-year-old can understand it, you're doing great.
I do really like the tip about Facebook groups. I have a friend who just launched a vegan cookie brand in Vancouver. And she told me, she was like, I just used the lots of vegan groups in Vancouver and I just gave them free cookies in exchange of like very lengthy surveys. And because of that, she she managed to do an amazing recipe and she's doing so well in just a few months. So Facebook groups are such a good thing. And yeah, of course, offering something in exchange, but that's such a great tip.
Thanks. I try.
Another question while we're talking about this. So I know you said Facebook is ew. And I I agree. But people are always asking, like even like nonprofits, small pet businesses, where do we need to be? Do we need to be on Instagram? Do we need to be on Facebook? Do we need to be on TikTok? Do we need to be on YouTube Shorts? All of these social media. And it can be like so overwhelming. Twitter, Threads. Where do they start? What are your advice when it comes
I love
to
this
that?
question. Yeah, I love this question. The number one thing I'll say is, where is your audience spending time? If you are a senior home, like looking for people that are like 70 and up, I'd say you better be hanging out on Facebook because I know that's where my mother lives. My mother, like my in-laws, like I cannot tell you how much time they spend there, right? Where people, millennials, Gen Z are not hanging out there, minus the Facebook groups occasionally. So I'd say one, where is your audience hanging out, right? Again, same thing with like LinkedIn, which LinkedIn has actually changed a lot recently, but before it was very like, I'm a professional B2B, which it still is, but it's actually become much more, for lack of a better way of putting it, casual. People are being much more vulnerable and open there. So again, if you were, one of these pet conferences like Global or Super Zoo, like I would put efforts on LinkedIn too, because they're trying to attract other businesses. But most dog service businesses, not products are probably on LinkedIn, but I haven't met many dog trainers or vets that are spending time on LinkedIn, but almost every pet parent I bet is on LinkedIn, right? Because they have like normal jobs. So normal jobs, you know what I mean? Jobs outside the pet space. So I say pick one and really become really good at it. Because one thing I'm sure everyone knows is the algorithm is moody and it changes all the time. So pick one and like really know it and own it. And again, when I work with my clients, I take the time to stay afloat on these trends so they don't have to. So I'll be like, hey, instead of doing this, do that so that they're going to get more reach. But yeah, I'd say pick one. My favorite is Instagram because out of all of them, I think that's where the millennials and Gen Zs of the world, who are probably the biggest population getting pets, are hanging out. And also the algorithm just works differently. So for example, if you're a local business, it definitely is better to be on Instagram, let's say, than TikTok or YouTube, because people are using Instagram like a search engine, where YouTube Shorts, at least I'm going to speak to, and TikTok is more just like flip zone and I'm like on the couch and, doing nothing. Where Instagram, I think it's that, but they're also using it almost like a search engine as well, even more so. So yeah, long story short, I would pick Instagram. If you are going to do a written one like a Threads, you can also repurpose that on LinkedIn.
Yeah, repurposing. Can you, because I know a lot of people do that, the reels they post on Instagram, they will then use them for TikTok and also YouTube Shorts. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's a good idea?
It can't hurt. You already did it. And there's a really great tool. I don't use it, but I have friends. And if you want to put this in the show notes, it's called repurpose.io. And the point is that once you upload it once, it then uploads it onto the other platforms that you choose. So that makes it a lot easier and less time consuming. I know when I was doing it for a minute, I would always forget. And now I really just stick to Instagram for Be Spotted. The one thing you have to just be mindful of is that you want to make sure you download the video without what's called a watermark, which is like, I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's like the little Instagram or TikTok icon that bops around. And because that actually hurts the reach, because the algorithm of those platforms could be like, I know you didn't do this here. So definitely download it without the watermark. And then, yeah, I say shoot your shot. You never know. I will say one thing, again, just to be cognizant, I'm sure we all feel this subconsciously, is that the culture on Instagram and TikTok are very different. Like Instagram, there's a lot more trending audios and cute people like lip syncing and dancing. And not to say there's not that on TikTok, but I feel like TikTok is also a lot more educational and more long form than Instagram. And then YouTube Shorts is more, I don't know, regular YouTube is almost more like TikTok in that it's a little bit longer form, but YouTube Shorts are more like it's like Reels. I don't know. So I say shoot your shot as long as it's not stressful. But if you pick one, I would go with Instagram.
So I have a question for you about time saving. You had mentioned, repurposing content. What other software kinds of programs or something can somebody use that are pretty, reasonable in cost?
In terms of repurposing or?
Yeah, repurposing, posting, just all the general stuff. Like what are some great, how do you save time? I guess is the question.
Like, do you schedule ahead? Like, do you schedule post ahead? Like, yeah.
So it's tricky, right? I used to actually schedule ahead and I used later.com, which I think was like $18 a month. Because it's really weird for Instagram being so big. They actually have a feature inside of Instagram where you can schedule. Garbage. Don't do it. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, which is hilarious. It's like, I'm trying to post in your own app. You're telling me a third-party app is better, but it is. The problem, and Instagram is really my bread and butter, to be honest, so I'll just speak to that and what I know, is when it comes to static content, images, or a carousel, and a carousel for those that are like, meh, it's when you have multiple slides, right, that you go through. It's not a video. The problem is with carousels, static, as well as reels, is trending audio is actually really important. And with static and carousels, if you add music, so trending audio, to those posts, you're actually amplifying them, because on the bottom of Instagram, there's the search button, the Reels tab, which is just like the For You page you would see on TikTok, and then just like your regular feed. So by adding music to static content, it automatically gets added to the Reels tab. So you're optimizing for more, but I'm sure you guys have seen it when you're scrolling on the Reels tab and now you're seeing carousels. The only way they're on there is because they added music. So the problem with scheduling out is you can't, if I was to create content and I wanted it to go, a month later, that audio is no longer going to be trending.
That is very
so then
true.
It's pointless. So I no longer use those softwares because there's literally no point, because it's only going to hurt. So if you're going to batch, put it in your drafts on Instagram. Just create the content inside the app. Now edits has come out. I haven't tried it, but it does help with reach, especially because they're trying to get more people to use it. But I just let them sit in my drafts. Now they even allow you the opportunity to rearrange your grid if you don't like it, which
Yay.
I'm like, who cares? I don't know. For me, I don't really care because I don't think aesthetics matter as much. It's more, is the content interesting and getting their attention to want to watch and engage? But so to answer your question, I don't really use many tools now because it just doesn't make sense. I say save the money, create the content in the app, save it in your drafts. If you're going to do anything, if you're busy or forgetful, set a calendar reminder at 12 p.m. or whatever the ideal time for you is. Be consistent, and then then all you have to do is click post, and that's it.
Do you think time still matters? Time of posting?
Yes and no. So in the sense, yes, because if you're, again, let's say you're based in New York and you're a local business, you shouldn't be posting at 3 a.m. Yes, we don't sleep, New Yorkers, but more people are awake at noon, right, than at 3 a.m. So just because it's really critical, like the first 30 minutes in terms of engagement, because the algorithm makes the decision, is this good or not? And am I going to post it out? So 3 a.m. is not ideal. I think we're on to tip number 3. If you're a creator or business account, which any pet business should be, you have like that button on the top in like your bio area that says insights. If you click new followers and then scroll all the way to the bottom, it actually tells you when your audience is most active on the app. So you can just base it off of that.
Wow. Well, you know what? This is such insightful information. We love you. We just need to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk more with you when we get back.
You know the expression, cats have 9 lives. Well, what if you can give them one more? The Give Them 10 movement is on a mission to help give cats an extra life. How? With spay and neuter. Spaying or neutering your cat helps them live a longer, healthier life. And it helps control free-roaming cat populations too. Learn more about the benefits of spay and neuter and meet Scooter, the neutered cat, at GiveThem10.org. That's GiveThem10.org.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back with Jamie Kane, the mind behind Be Spotted, a marketing firm focused on the pet industry. Jamie, we're talking about social media, so I want to ask another question about it. What about stories? So we talked about reel, carousel, post. How important are stories? Because in my opinion, they are, because they bring your account back on top for people to see you. But tell us what you think.
1,000,000%. If you're not posting on your grid, which is like your main feed every day, you could do a story a day, because it can be as silly as a picture of your dog, and you could say, my dog's name's Lucy, is Lucy cute? Like, it could be as silly as that, because again, it keeps you top of mind, right? But what I want to actually go back is, I think people have this misconception.
We all know that feeling. You finally manage to get away on vacation and the worrying starts. Will that bogus "Beware of Dogs" sign keep your home safe? What about that fake camera you set up? And will someone finally find your old hide and key rock? That's where ADT comes in. All that stuff, it's safe-ish. It seems fine when you don't really think about it, but you know it truly doesn't work. Instead, ADT provides security solutions that keep you actually safe, giving you real peace of mind. Because vacation is supposed to be, relaxing. Don't settle for safe-ish. Visit ADT.com today to learn more.
In that the grid is so important, but to me, actually, I think stories seal the deal. So what I mean by that is, when you're getting discovered on social media, usually there's 3 ways you're getting discovered. One is through the search, right? If someone searched pet marketing, let's say, through the Explore tab, which there's the Explore where it's like that grid of different things, or the Reels one. Or the third is someone is sending it to you, like that particular reel, right? Like, haha, this is so funny, or whatever it may be. So your content, think if your Instagram is a physical store, the grid is what's getting people to go to your door. It's piquing their interest, right? Because stories typically are only visible to those that are following you, where your grid is open to the public. So they see this first piece of content, they're like, "Oh, this is good." And then we want them to binge and like your content, build trust. Typically, the next place they're going to go is your stories. Like I said, to seal the deal. Who is the person behind the business? What do they like? Are they fun? Do they get me? Is it relatable? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other really great thing about stories, unlike reels, which, oh my God, tip number 4, this is probably one of my biggest pet peeves in the world. In your caption of a reel, a carousel static, do not under any circumstance put a link, your phone number, anything. Do not do it, because no one can click it. They can't copy and paste it, and it makes me sad. So what you should be doing instead is putting any of that, not any, I lied, don't put your phone number in your stories. Put any links that you want people to click, sign up for an event, buy your product, book a call, whatever, in your stories. It is so easy to do. There's like a little square post-it note man with a smiley face, and one of the buttons is link. You could literally just click, obviously don't just put the link, right? That's weird. But like give a little context to it. So yeah, so I say story seal the deal. And we want to give as the information to our potential customers as easy as possible and the least amount of clicks and steps. So when they're in our stories, to click that button to book a call, let's say, just make it bing, bang, boom, and it'll be easier for conversion versus going to your caption. Oh, they want me to go to this website. I can't copy and paste it. I have to get a pen and paper and write down this insane URL. And then, you know what I mean? So don't.
What about stories highlights?
Love that question. So highlights, I always say there should be 4, and I'm going to talk to more service providers in that one. Highlights, the objective of your highlight is to get people to want to follow or buy from you. And I love seeing everyone's pets. Like I said, psycho dog mom. If I see another pet business who just features pictures of their own dog, that doesn't tell me how you're going to help my dog. Like Roscoe is cute. Love Roscoe, right? But how does that help me as the pet parent decide I'm going to work with you over a competitor down the street? So you should always have 4 highlights that, again, help you make that decision or at least follow. So the 4 I always say, 1 about me. So, and it shouldn't just be like, I'm a Sagittarius, right? Like, no one cares. The about me should be, what are your credentials? Why does that make you different? How do you help parents uniquely, again, from your customers? And okay, tip number 5, if I hear one more time, I will love your pets like my own. Everyone says that. Every single person, right? Instead, if, for example, you're fear-free and you're a pet sitter, right? I would say something like, I curate an experience for anxious pets to feel like they're at the spa, right? Or something like that. That gives a feeling versus I love your pets as my own. It's like, are you going to kidnap my dog? About me, but really it's about them being able to be like, I trust this person. She gets it. 2nd, FAQs. 3rd, your services. And then 4th, testimonials. And do screenshots. Do screenshots of your testimonials. Ideally, they can be from Google reviews, DM, text even. People are very concerned about aesthetics, and they'll pull the testimonial, put it in Canva, make it cute. But then, I don't know, not that I think anyone's lying, but it looks less legitimate than taking a proper screenshot from
100%.
My favorite is DMs because you get that little circle of their face and everyone can relate to that.
Yeah.
And the other ones don't look as clean. So if you're asking clients for testimonials, just ask them to DM it to you, screenshot it, put it in your highlights, and add a little bit of context because most pet parents aren't going to write an essay about their life story with their dog. So provide a little context with it as well.
Jamie, you're amazing. You're giving us so much info. People who are listening must love this. I have another question. It's about UGC content. So UGC is user-generated content. So it's when you don't do your own content, but you ask other people to do it for you. So if you have a product, you can have customer or even someone you send a product to making content, and then you can reuse that content. What do you think about this, Jamie? I think you have a lot of thoughts, and I also think you have a tool coming up. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yes. Oh, you're the best. So UGC is really, really great. I think people are actually not as familiar with it. People just think influencers for creating content for social channels. The problem with influencers is they are absurdly expensive. Like money, money, money. Like it's crazy. And people think I need some, They think they need this big influencer, which is great for brand awareness, but that doesn't necessarily convert into sales. So I would rather spend the same amount of money on more creators, UGC creators, than one big influencer. So UGC is really great as well because it helps you diversify your content, different stylings, different pets, right? You could have a black cat, I don't know the different colors, a ginger cat, right? A beagle. I know more about dogs. A beagle, a German Shepherd, a Chihuahua, whatever. And UGC is much more cost effective. It's not cheap, right? It's still, you're paying them money, as everyone knows, creating their own social media. It's not a walk in the park. But usually it starts anywhere from like $150 to $600-ish, give or take, depending on the deliverables as well. So yeah, for people that, I think it's really great, to your point, really for products. You can do it for service providers. Like I've seen a lot of UGC for vets in New York to talk about their experience of why, for example, Bond or Small Door Vet, because they're backed by BC, so they also have the money to spend to share their experiences. But typically UGC is for product based. And then to touch on what you're saying about the product. So typically when sourcing creators, the way they're doing it is just searching the creator. And then usually they go to their link in bio, which then has a bunch of different links. One's about their portfolio, one's about different affiliate. But it's sending them outside of the app in all these different places, and it takes a lot more time to verify. So I've created this product called Julep. It's like Tulip, but with a J. And it's a website builder specifically for UGC creators that they can create in minutes that's meant to live on their social platforms to help them earn more with affiliates and secure more brand deals.
I love that.
That is so cool. Hey, we need to take a quick break again. But when we come back, we're going to talk more with Jamie and her amazing insights.
Has your dog or cat chewed through yet another set of sheets?
I get it. I've been there. But instead of replacing them with more scratchy, low-quality bedding, why not treat yourself to what Oprah and Kris Jenner sleep on every night? It's called Cozy Earth. And yes, it's as dreamy as it sounds. Their bamboo sheets and pajamas are buttery soft, cooling, moisture-wicking, and they actually get softer every time you wash them. I'm talking next-level snuggle mode here, folks. These sheets have been on Oprah's favorite things list 7 years in a row, and there's a reason why. Cozy Earth gives you the softest, coolest sleep of your life. And just for Pet Life Radio listeners, I scored you an exclusive 41% off. That's the biggest discount they offer anywhere. Just use promo code PetLifeRadio at CozyEarth.com and sleep like the celebrity your pet already thinks you are. That's CozyEarth.com, promo code PetLifeRadio. You'll thank me at bedtime.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back with Jamie, who is sharing some of the most amazing insight we've ever gotten on a podcast here at the Whisker Report. Have some questions. Tell us how PR ties into what you do and the importance of that.
Well, one, Mary is the queen of pet PR. So you're here. I'm like floating over here. To me, it's actually funny. I think it's two things. And what we just talked about is different than for a pet business, right? Like a pet business should have probably some sort of website. And for those that don't know what SEO is, SEO stands for search engine optimization, meaning when you organically, meaning no money spent, you're going to rank high in the Google results, which then really nerdy, I don't know if you've heard this joke, Mary, but or Alex or Mark, the nerdy SEO joke is if you want to hide a dead body, put it on the second page of Google because ain't nobody going. So really nerdy. So you want to try and be at least in the top five results, not including the sponsored. So the really great thing about PR, as I said, is two things. One, it accelerates your authority, right? Because some other legitimate publication or person is saying this person knows their stuff. And then the second is backlinking, which I'm sure you're familiar with this term, but if the audience doesn't know what it means, I like to think of it like a political endorsement. So, for example, if you were running for office and you wanted, I don't know why I always use this example. I say, if Jennifer Aniston, it's so random. If Jennifer Aniston had her website and was like, oh my God, Mary's running for president, she's amazing. The trust from Jennifer Aniston promoting you is going to rank you higher in like the world of rankings, right? So if the New York Times, ranked my website, the New York Times is very legit, has millions of hits every day. It then tells Google like, oh, Jamie must also be legit because we're legit. And so it kind of gives you that organic boost. So when I started Dog Spotted and I launched this like marketplace feature, which is still live if anyone wants to check it out, I pitched to, I don't know if you're familiar with these publications, Thrillist and Time Out, because they're both hyper localized in New York and they have millions of viewers and I still get traffic through those. And that's the coolest part, right? Like PR, what's really neat about it is you'll get it's evergreen. You keep getting hits, where an ad, you're paying to live on that shelf for a finite amount of time, where, gosh, I pitched Time Out and Thrillist, I think in 2021. So 4 years ago, and I'm still getting traffic. So it was time well spent.
That's
You know what
amazing.
was interesting is when you were describing what to write in your posts and reels and different things like that. It really is all about storytelling and getting a strategic message in there.
Could not agree more. I think when it's like 5 things, blah, 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 it's not as interesting as this is how I taught my barky, lungy dog to chill out. You're like, how did she do it? Right? People want to know their experience or client experience. So I could not agree more. And to your point, it parlays well to PR as well.
Yeah.
Love
Well,
it.
tell us, Alex, do you have more questions?
A small question. It was influencer marketing. You mentioned quickly you would rather spend the money on UGC content rather than influencers. Can you just talk a little bit more about this? Because we get that question so often from pet businesses, product. They're always asking us, what about influencers? What about influencers? It's been the biggest trend ever. We've even seen it at pet shows, right? The trade shows, all the influencers coming, all the influencers trying to get their way in with, the people there, the businesses trying to get in. So can you just give tips to the ones who are listening to us? And even if you're a pet influencers, like on both sides, right? We love all of them. We love the businesses, we love the influencers. But can you give some tips on that?
And I don't want to say I don't like influencers. I just think,
we love them.
I genuinely love them and they're very entertaining. It's just dependent on where your business is at, right? If you are Petco, for example, right, your budget for marketing is probably more money than I've ever seen in my lifetime for like one month even probably, right? So it just depends on where you're able to spend your money in your budget. If you can get a really niche, and influencer is also such a broad term because you could be a nano influencer, micro, macro, right? And it's funny because the really big ones, but I think Petco actually works well with them because, again, Petco's audience is so broad. Because think about it, they carry treats, they have fish, they have harnesses, they have so many different things. If I'm a smallish business, I actually would want the more niche creator. So, for example, there's this woman who, she actually has pivoted recently, but there's this really great creator who focused on like her dog and her like menstrual journey, which I'm like, what a random combo, but I love it so much. And like, if I was a woman or a product company that was maybe chocolates or like things that helped with like your period, but you didn't think I was going to go in this direction when you asked about pet influencers.
I love it.
Right? Then it's such an obvious partnership. And because she's so niche, it makes it easier for their audience that they know the majority of her audience is specifically interested in this type of product, right? Where again, usually very big influencers are more broad and that's not bad, right? And it works well, again, for the Petcos of the world, let's say. But if you're a smaller business that doesn't have an obscene budget, like there's nothing wrong with the smaller creators because they have a really focused audience on whatever that topic is, because usually smaller influencers are much more niche. So I would really do your diligence and what are they talking about? Does it complement your business? Right? And there's just so many different ways to look at it. I think also you don't need to go for pet influencers. You could still go for like a lifestyle creator who happens to have a dog or a cat, right? I think a lot of people think, oh, I have to go for a pet creator where the pet is the focal point. But again, unfortunately, our pets don't have the credit cards. So it can really be more broad than that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Where can people find you?
Yeah. So if anyone is interested, I also help in giving more tips on my Instagram. So it's at be.spotted, or they can check me out on my website, which is be-spotted.com. And then they can email me at jamie@be-spotted.com as well. But this has been so great. I loved having this time with you and talking all things pet marketing. It's so nerdy, but it's such a fun topic. And if anyone has questions, feel free to DM me.
Well, Jamie, you are amazing, and everybody needs to check Jamie out because you just have a wealth of information.
Mm-hmm.
So check out her Instagram page, check out her social medias, check out her website, everything. Do it now. And that's a wrap for this show. We're so excited to be doing this for all of you.
That was so fun.
And Jamie, you're just one of those people who are making life better for animals. So if you have a PR question you'd like Alex or I to answer, we'll reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook under Whisker Media, and we'll try to answer it in a future podcast episode. So as we always say,
bark loud and purr smart.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.